they say on Broadway, it's showtime. Welcome all of you to my beautiful living room. I hope you appreciate this. I can't tell you the expense that it took to lay down these rugs before this performance, but I hope you appreciate that. First things first, in order of importance, New England Patriots 14, Panthers 6 at halftime.
Thank you.
All right. You know, so many important community events have taken place in this hall. The gift of the Myrack family providing this as a community center is just truly remarkable. I don't think you could have a warmer room, a more inviting room for anything of an artistic nature, and certainly I think a play fits in that category. And I want to give special thanks to the Myrack family for, again, allowing us to use this room on a complimentary basis. That's very important. And the managing director of this beautiful home is Ara Gazarian, and let's thank Ara as well. A number of you in this room participated at the 60th anniversary banquet of NASR, the National Association of Armenian Studies and Research. And Vartan Grigoryan was the special speaker, the featured speaker at this marvelous event that we had in Boston 2 years ago now. And Vartan Grigoryan was president of Brown University at the time that Barbara Bejoian was teaching and studying and getting her advanced degrees there. And he became something of a mentor to her. And whenever I would see Vartan, several times, it was perhaps the only thing we really had in common. He was such a brilliant man. And I only saw him a few times in my life, but I would always mention Barbara's name. And he would always smile, and he would always say, she was a forceful person. She was a woman of great intellect, but she had ability to express herself in uncensored ways that provided an empathetic attitude towards the people that she was talking to. She was a woman of strong opinion. She had an artistic voice at a time when there were not that many Armenians to use as a role model. And whenever Vartan and I would speak, I would mention, in fact, we just lost this gentleman a little while ago, Ed Asner. Do you remember Ed Asner and the Mary Tyler Moore Show? And the first episode of that marvelous television series of about 30 years ago, Ed Asner, as Lou Grant, the publisher, is interviewing Mary Tyler Moore. And he's going on and says, and she's describing herself and how she is and what she wants to do and how assertive she is and all this. And he says, Mary, you really have spunk. And she says, well, I suppose I do. I don't like spunk. That's what he said. But the thing is that we had a lady, Barbara Bejoian, who certainly had spunk. She had creative drive. She had a unique voice, and she passed away. She was a great gift to our community. She passed away of cancer in 2004. So I have a close relationship. I had a very close relationship with Bob Bejoian. I think many of you knew him here. He was treasurer at NASA. He was treasurer at the St. James Armenian Church. Made a marvelous contribution to the Armenian community. And he gave me this book, A Play of One's Own and More, the Plays and Writings of Barbara Bejoian. He collected all of her works. And he said, Paul, he said, I wish as a memorial, as a tribute to my sister, you would present a play of hers. Well, we started thinking seriously about it, what plays we would use. And then, of course, Bob passed away. And then we had the pandemic. So Chris Bejoian, Bob's brother, took up the mantle of responsibility, came up to me, and he said, let's do a play. Let's do a stage reading. I'll back it, whatever you need to do. So I looked through the book, and with Bob, at one point, we had looked at a play called The Porch, because Barbara really loved baseball. She loved to sit in the bleachers at Fenway Park. And in fact, one time I found her in the bleachers at Fenway Park, and somebody hit a home run. I forgot who it was. This was about 1996, 97. And everybody's standing up and cheering and so forth, and Barbara is lost in her thoughts. And I said, Barbara, I said, why aren't you excited about this? And she said, I find this as a place of total relaxation for me. She said, you have a tremendous crowd, people are screaming and so forth, but I look at people and I can characterize them, I can have voices, and it really helps me understand how to reach out to people, how to communicate with people sitting in the bleachers at Fenway Park. Who knew? The other thing that I had in common with Barbara is the Broadway musical. She particularly loved the musical, The Sound of Music. I think almost everybody here saw that musical. It came out in 1965, I believe, and 65, 66. And with Julie Andrews playing the part of Maria. And so I related this anecdote to Barbara, and I'll relate it to you as well. It's something actually my mother found in Reader's Digest, and it was an anecdote involving Oscar Hammerstein. And Oscar Hammerstein, realizing that he had cancer and was not going to live to see the opening night, he was also, he wanted to give Mary Martin, the star, the role of Maria, was played by Julie Andrews in the film, a special gift. And a special gift were 4 lines that were cut in Boston, interestingly enough, during the tryout. And he had those lines embroidered, and he gave it to her as a pillow, walked up to the stairs, the dressing room, knocked on the door. She comes in, what is it? Explains the situation. And Barbara was very touched by these words, as was my mother and other people. And essentially it reflected, I think, Barbara's thoughts about her writing and what she wanted to share with the world. And what was embroidered on that pillow goes something like this. A bell is no bell until it is rung. A song is no song until it is sung. And love in the heart isn't meant there to stay. Love isn't love until it's given away. And I think, like a lot of creative artists, writing, expressing yourself is a form of love and a manifestation of love that you're sharing with an audience or you're sharing with your readers. And I wanted to share that with you because she was a very, very special person, and I so enjoyed her company as we all did here. So aside from the tribute that we're having to Barbara, it's also, I think, special thanks to the Bejoian family. Everything, you know, we don't fall too far away from the tree. The apple doesn't fall too far away from the tree. And many of us in our community have become engineers or teachers or academics or lawyers or whatever. There aren't too many of us who became artists, particularly writers, of the reputation that Barbara Bejoian had. And when you have a writer, you have a creative talent in the family, and I think many of our actors and actresses can identify with this, it's not without risk. It's a perilous task to build your career. And it was very much a tribute to Casper and Rose's love of their daughter, that they supported her, they nurtured her, and she appreciated that. And the same thing is true of her brothers, Paul, who is here, Chris, who was, as I said, the executive producer of this, and we wouldn't be here without him, and Bob was a very, very close friend as well as a loving brother. So anyway, at this point, I want to thank 2 other people. Barbara Bejoian, who is our artistic director. Without her helping us form the plays, edit the plays, help shape the plays, we wouldn't be able to, I think, implement the 2 one-act plays here today. Just terrific. And then Chris Bejoian. Chris, why don't you come up here? I know you have a few things you'd like to say, and then Barbara's going to say a couple of things, and then turn it back to me. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to thank you all for coming to remember our sister Barbara Bejoian, and especially thank you to Barbara Bejoian and Paul Bogosian and my cousin Kathy Manassian, for without them, this wonderful day would have never happened. Blair Cadden and her wonderful actors really put life to Barbara's words. Thank you. And Barbara left us too soon, 17 years ago, but her impact on all of us still remains. Her sons, Ian and Casey, are here with their wives today. And just so you understand, Barbara's ideas and guidance ring through all of us. Even today, she was truly ahead of her time, whether it's the feminist movement or whether it was her writings. But she was a force to deal with, as Paul had said. She always believed that never compromise or take the easy road, because in the end, she would always tell you it would jeopardize the end results. So that's my final comment, and let's listen together to Barbara's wonderful words, right, on these two great plays. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Paul and Chris. Hello, everyone. I met Barbara Bejoian many, many years ago when I was editor of the Armenian Mirror Spectator. One day in the summer, I was sitting in my office, and in bounces this young undergraduate student offering to serve as an intern at the newspaper. So we were chronically understaffed, and I was so relieved to get some help of any kind whatsoever. So that was my first encounter with Barbara, and she proved to be just an excellent writer and editor. But beyond that, she was a wonderful person. She was extremely intelligent, knowledgeable, and eager to embrace everything that life had to offer. Barbara had, as Paul and Chris have told you, she had a positive way of interacting with people. And although we had a rather unusual set of characters at the Mirror Spectator, she had a way of getting along with everyone. She could find a way, and yet she had her principles, but she just knew how to deal with people. It was a great gift. She fit right into the office routine. She didn't need training or supervision. So it was a brief but a great encounter. I can't say that I knew her well, but she's the kind of person that once you met her, she kind of radiated a certain energy and light, and you wouldn't forget her. She's the kind of person you couldn't forget. Several years later, I received an invitation from the Rights and Reason Theater at Brown University to be a consultant in a play they were producing about Armenian American women, and they were looking for an expert on Armenian American women. Now, I don't think there certainly wasn't then, and I don't know if there is now an expert on Armenian American women. But so I figured, okay, I mean, I might as well. I'm as good as anyone else. So I did agree. I ended up writing a short piece for the program, and I attended one of the several sold-out performances of that play, which was a great success, and that was Dance Mama Dance, one of the plays we're going to be presenting today. That was the last time that I actually met Barbara in person. Of course, I did follow her successful career as a brilliant writer, inspiring teacher, and award-winning playwright. For example, her play about Virginia Woolf won the Critics' Choice Award at the Edinburgh Festival in Scotland. And then it was so sad to learn that her life had been cut short prematurely in 2004 at the age of 49 due to cancer, at a time when she was at the peak of her creative ability. So last year, when Paul and Chris asked me to participate in a tribute to Barbara, I didn't hesitate. As Paul said, we had a difficult time deciding which one of her dozen or so plays to present today. And unable to choose one, we chose two. On the one hand, Barbara, born and who grew up in Watertown, was very familiar with the Armenians. She loved Armenia and Armenians with all their vices and virtues and idiosyncrasies. Because of her special interest, though, in the lives and aspirations of Armenian American women, we chose to present Dance Mama Dance, which is the best known of a trilogy of plays she wrote on this subject. But Barbara was also fully American, as Paul has noted. And so to showcase that aspect of her work, we chose On the Porch, a play that represents not only her love for the Boston Red Sox, but some of her feelings about family relations and about the choices we make in life and how we make those choices. So, mindful of time restrictions, we had to make some difficult decisions in cutting the plays, but we made very strong efforts to preserve their essence as essential character. I hope we succeeded in that. So thank you for joining us today in this tribute, and enjoy the show.
Thank you, Barbara. We have a new generation of talent that is hitting Broadway and regional theaters around the country. And I wanted to select somebody who is young, who is intellectually vigorous, who is empathetic, and somebody that I thought represented this new generation of thinking about theater and plays and writing. And I searched through all of my theater contacts in the Boston area, and I received a recommendation to talk to a young lady named Blair Cadden. And Blair had just recently graduated with her Master's in Fine Arts from Boston University. She had been artistic director of a well-known regional theater company in Charleston, South Carolina, where she is from. And soon after speaking with Blair and understanding her feeling for the material and what she would like to do with her career and where this might fit in, I thought she was the perfect choice. And Barbara and Chris and I have experienced the rehearsals since Wednesday, and we've seen how she has worked with the actors. And I'm very confident that I made the right choice at the time, and I think you will see the results of that decision soon. So at this point, let me bring up Blair Cadden. And Blair, why don't you introduce the actors, and let's take it from the top.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Paul, for that overwhelmingly kind introduction. I don't know what I could possibly add that hasn't already been said about Barbara and the work, so I just want to say briefly from me personally what a joy it has been to meet her, in a sense, through working on these plays, and also to get a tiny taste of this really beautiful community. Thank you, Paul and Chris, for giving me that chance, for entrusting me and these incredible actors with those words. And with that, I will turn it over to the cast of The Porch. We have Sam, Mitch, Kyle, Lauren, and Daval heading this way. Thank you so much. The Porch. Morning, New England in the Berkshires. Tom is trimming the bushes around the wraparound porch with clippers. He has been raking wind-blown leaves, and the grass has just been cut.
Honey, it's 6 in the morning. What are you doing out here?
Couldn't sleep.
It's freezing out here. Put those clippers down and come back to bed.
I will, just let me finish up. You go back inside, I'll be right in.
He's fine. He's a smart man. He's found a safe place to spend the night, and he's fine. He'll show up.
I don't know, Jen. Mary's really worried.
We all are. Come on, Tom. Come inside.
Did I ever tell you that my dad loved cleaning this yard?
I know that. I saw you two out here all the time. Tom, you're not yourself this morning. It's early. It's cold.
I don't feel like myself this morning. I don't know. I woke up and I couldn't get back to sleep. I come out here and started raking. I can't stop thinking about my dad, and I'm worried sick about George. Where the hell is he?
I think he's somewhere safe. He's not impaired. He's just old.
Poor Mary. What if something happened to him and he can't get to a phone to call for help?
He's a wise old man. I'm worried too, but we've got to have faith that he's okay.
I hate not being in control of certain things in life. I hate wondering where George took off to. I hate that my dad died 3 years ago, and I hate wanting everything to be perfect when the kids come over for this weekend.
I can't locate George Porter from this porch, but I can comfort you concerning your dad because I miss him too. And worrying about a flawless activity like having your team over for a Memorial Day barbecue is a no-brainer. Everyone is going to have a great time as always. Tom, let's go inside.
No, I want to stay outside. You go in. Go back to bed. I want to finish raking.
Scrambled or fried, sausage or bacon, home fries or pasta.
You don't have to do
Oh, you
this.
can't do yard work on an empty stomach. I am cold and tired, but I'm hungry too, so what's it gonna be?
Scrambled bacon and home fries with onions, please. Jenna, thanks.
Well, you're welcome, Mr. Stoneley. Yard work's a tough business. Can't have my help hungry, can I? Have your fun. I'll be back.
You're wonderful, Jenna.
Can't argue with you.
Do I need to tell you what you look like? You look just like your father.
God, George, where have you been? Everybody's been worried sick about you. God, you scared the bejeepers out of me. What are you doing up this early in the morning? What's the matter with you coming around the side from the house like that? You could have given me a coronary.
It's good to see you too, Tom. Tom, you did a fine job out back. It looks terrific. Your father would have been proud.
George, where have you been? I've been worried about you. Mary's going crazy. Everybody's searching all over.
Well, they needn't. I'm fine. And I'll stay fine by not going back to that home.
Whispering Pines is a nice place. What's the matter with you running away the way you did?
I'm 91 years old. And I'm not going back to that place. I'm no spring chicken, but I've got enough fight for me to stay free and sane.
You're talking like a crazy fool. I've got to call Mary. Jesus, George, you scared me.
Now, hold on, Tom. Please, don't call Mary. I'll be on my way. You can make believe you didn't see me, and you can make believe that I didn't see you.
No, you don't. You stay right here, George. We've got to get to the bottom of this.
Bottom of what? I'm fine. Do I look fine to you? I'm fine.
I believe you, George.
But nothing. Look, Tom, I didn't mean to spook you. I'm sorry. I'm also sorry I slept in your shed last night, but I also thank you.
You were in my shed? The police are out looking for you. I'm going to call Mary right now.
Well, I woke up when I heard you raking and humming. You sounded just like your dad, George. God rest his soul. And you looked like him too. For a moment, I felt young again, and I wanted to start raking with you. You know, Tom, you're a good kid to straighten up your yard before the parade, and for the kids you coach, it's a good example. Are you going to put the geraniums along the porch? Your parents loved red geraniums.
I know, George. And yes, I'll be putting out some red geraniums, but let's stay on the subject. You need to sit on the porch, and I need to go call Mary. Now, you stay put, George.
Mr. Porter, does Mary know you're here?
Jenna, sit down with George and feed him my breakfast. I'm going to call Mary.
Please don't do that, Tom.
Oh, Mr. Porter, she's been worried sick over you. We all have. Would you like a sticky bun? They're hot from the freezer to the oven.
I just want my freedom. I want my life back. Of all people, Tom, you should understand that. Your father died with dignity. You didn't send him away. You took care of him until the end. You were a good boy, Tom. That's kind of the best son a man could have.
George, you are a resident at the nursing home now. You can't just leave without telling anybody. You worried your daughter, your friends. You can't just walk out of Whispering Pines the way you did.
You don't understand.
He wants to, Mr. Porter. We all want to understand. Right, Tom?
Of course.
Tom, sit down with Mr. Porter. You two start to eat now. Go inside and quickly scramble some more eggs. We don't need to telephone Mary right now. It's not even 7 a.m. The whole town's asleep. Let's just all calm down and eat this good breakfast.
Those sticky buns do smell good.
George, why did you run?
The patients are like empty vessels floating on an ocean. Their eyes are like vacant car lots. You talk, but they don't hear. They just grin or moan. They moan all through the night and day. They moan. And the smells, urine and canned fruit cocktail. That's all I smell. I don't want to talk about it while I'm eating. It's disrespectful to good and decent food.
We'll eat, and we'll talk, and then we'll drive you to Mary's home.
No,
George.
eat. Tom, everything's going to get cold.
Oh, scrambled eggs are so quick and easy. I love scrambled eggs.
Everything is delicious. Thank you, Jenna.
You're so welcome.
We'll pack everything up.
And how are your parents, Jenna?
Oh, they're just fine. They're still in Florida. They love it down there. My dad just turned 75. We flew down for his birthday.
And your brothers?
Fine. All fine with 9 children between them.
Oh, good. Very good. You come from a fine family.
Jenna, George, I'm going to call Mary and have her come over here.
Good. How's that idea? Fine. Good. But let her sleep. Jenna's right. There's no rush on a Saturday morning. Besides, we might not need to call her
Wrong.
at all.
She's going to be called.
She's really worried about you, Mr. Porter.
Well, then she shouldn't have sent me into that home. It was a good place when I had my heart attack. It was okay to recoup there instead of a hospital, but I'm fine now. And I don't need nurses and floor staff telling me what I can and can't do.
George, that was your 3rd heart attack.
Right, my 3rd. 3 strikes, I'm out. But I'm not out. I'm alive, and I'm here. And I need a big favor.
Okay, shoot.
Let's drive to Boston today. Tom, let's catch the game at Fenway. I can't get there on my own. The bus would take too long, and I can't get to my money or else they'll know where I am. That's why I'm telling you it's a big favor. You'll need to pay for us, but I'll pay you back. Come on, Tom. You game? They're playing the Yankees.
You old goat. You're pulling on my heartstrings. You could make me feel guilty if I say no.
Mr. Porter, Tom can't do that. We need to call Mary and help you get back to Whispering Pines.
Tom knows what I need. And Tom knows what I'm talking about.
Honey?
My dad and George would plan every trip to Boston while sitting on this porch. They said the trip always rejuvenated them. They'd all leave in the early morning, 6 or 7.
I know this story.
I've told it enough times. George, my dad, Joe Pine, and Walter Dunnigan would make it to Boston in 2 hours or less. Head to Faneuil Hall Marketplace to pick up some fancy fruits like watermelons, strawberries, and grapes. They'd buy it wholesale and give it to their wives that evening for being gone all day.
That's it, Tom. And after we'd buy the fruits, we'd head to Fenway to spend the day. Let's go, Tom. Just you and me. Jenna, you understand the situation, don't you?
No! Forgive me, but no. Mary is the one who needs to understand, not me or Tom, Mr. Porter, but your daughter. Your only daughter. You need to be talking to her.
It's the right time to go. It's almost 7. We could make it to the marketplace and bring you and Mary home some beautiful and delicious fruit. She'll understand. And all I'm asking for Tom is a lift, a ticket, and a box of Cracker Jacks.
When was the last time you went?
5 years ago. Oh, I listen to the games on the radio and the television, but it's not the same. You know that. I need to see Fenway. I want the crack of the bat, the smell of hot dogs smothered in mustard, relish, and onions, and the taste of syrupy Coca-Cola in paper cups.
Tom, you have to call Mary. You can't take responsibility.
I can't turn my back on George.
I knew I could count on you.
Mr. Porter.
Jenna, please.
No, you please. You can't do this, Tom. Forgive me, Mr. Porter, but I am not responsible for you. You need to go back to Whispering Pines. You need to rest. We need to call Mary, your daughter, who is responsible for you.
I need to go to Boston.
Jenna, he's right, and I need to take him. I want to take him. He needs to go to Boston.
And Mary? What about Mary?
She'll be fine. She'll be glad.
I'll talk with her after we get back. You'll have to promise me to return to Whispering Pines when we get back, George. Do you promise?
No.
George, you need to promise me.
All right, Scout's honor. These sticky buns are delicious. You're a fine cook, Jenna.
We'll be back around 7.
Well, what about the yard? What about Mary? You have to tell her.
I know that, and I'm going to call her. We'll get on the highway and then I'll call her. She'll be fine when she hears he's with me.
I'm going to the Red Sox game. Thank you, Tom. Bless you, Jenna. We'll bring you back some fruit, and we'll bring Mary some fruit, too. Right, Tom?
Don't look at me that way. You know I'm making the right decision.
No, I don't.
Jenna, we need to talk.
No, we don't. I called Mary. The line is busy. I am going to tell Mary where her father is. She needs to know. I am not in favor of you going to Fenway Park, but I'm not going to stand in your way. I am staying out of it. It is your problem, not mine.
Bless you, Jenna.
Mr. Porter, you escaped from your nursing home. Now you want my husband to take you 3 hours from here and further distress all who love and care about you. Tom, does any part of this description affect your legal mind? You're a lawyer. Isn't what you're both about to do illegal?
No, not with 2 willing parties, Jenna.
Oh, Tom, my kindergarten students use better deductive reasoning. Go. Both of you go, but I'm not keeping quiet. I'm calling Mary.
So will we. From the road, once we're on the road. Right, Tom?
George. Yes.
Come on. I'm sorry, Jenna. I'm sorry, Tom. But I love the Red Sox and I love Fenway Park. I want to see it again, Jenna. Tom, I'm 91 years old. I don't feel it, but I know that I'm old. I'm stuck in that home, not feeling good or happy. I am happy right now, remembering the past. Hell, I'm lucky I can remember that day. Tom, I'm not asking you lightly. I'm asking you with all my heart, please take me to Boston. Jenna, I love my daughter. I don't want her upset, but I don't want her to stop me. She loves you and Tom. She'll be grateful to Tom for taking me where I want to go when she can't say no. After today, I'll face the music or whatever the hell. I'll get ready to die and be done with it all.
Mr. Porter.
George.
No, I'm on the level. I can die after today. I broke out of that place. I beat the system. Yesterday was fantastic, away from that Death Valley. And this morning, getting Tom to say yes, well, it was like a lifetime of Christmas mornings, all wrapped into one great package. Jenna, please, don't be angry at Tom or me. Don't call my Mary with anger. Please, today, just let me have a piece of my world back.
Go on. Get out of here, you two. Don't you worry, Mr. Porter. You have a great day. You have a really great day for yourself.
I'll call Mary from the road. We'll be back tonight.
With fruit. Lots of fruit.
Mary and John enter the porch.
No, you are not going to tell her.
Yes, I am.
No, we agreed not to tell anyone.
Jenna and Tom are family to me. To us.
It's a private matter. Okay, we'll handle it. We don't know everything yet.
I can't go on lying. I just can't, John.
It's not lying. It's keeping stress off of us. Stress we don't need.
Look at us. We're stressed now.
Look, Tom will bring your dad home. We'll send him back to Whispering Pines, and then somehow our lives will return to normal.
It's wrong, John. It's wrong that we didn't make room for my father. It's wrong that my father came to Tom instead of us. It's wrong that he felt the need to escape from Whispering Pines. My mother would be ashamed of me. I'm ashamed of me. It doesn't matter what else is going on.
What are you talking about? It has to do with everything that's going on. I'm not ashamed that I'm taking care of you first.
He is my family.
You're my family.
Mary? Oh, John, did you hear from Tom?
I'm so glad you were home when he came here.
Jenna, why didn't you and Tom call us right away? What was Tom thinking taking him to Fenway? You should have called us right away.
John, it was too early. We didn't want to wake you up. We were as shocked as you are right now.
Let's not fuss about what could have happened. At least they're together. I know he's in good hands with Tom.
You're right. Really, John, he's okay. And you know us, Mary. There isn't anything that I or Tom wouldn't do for you, John, or the children. You both know that. Your father was determined to get to Fenway, and he knew how to get to Tom. Did they tell you he slept in our shed last night?
It was freezing last night.
I feel so horrible.
Oh, no, my point is, he knew what he was doing. He didn't freeze out there. He found our camping equipment. He wrapped himself up in our sleeping bags and blankets. He was happy this morning. Really, he looked great. He ate a huge breakfast. Mary, don't cry. I'm telling you, he looked great.
I just wish he had come to me.
He came to us because we're family too. Mary, don't beat yourself up. You can't blame yourself for his behavior.
I put him there.
It was all we could do.
We could have brought him home, John. We could have redone the study. I would have taken him to Fenway today if that's what he wanted. I really would have.
Mary.
No, I should have been there for him. To think how desperate he must have felt.
I think determined is a better word. Your dad wasn't desperate, Mary. He was fine. He was determined. And I'll bet he knew you would have taken him, but I'm thinking he came here looking for Harry. And instead he found Tom, and then one thing happened after another. In fact, I'm still putting the whole morning together.
You don't understand.
I'm so confused.
You both need to know that he looked great. I didn't want Tom to take him to Fenway, but Tom wanted to, and I didn't stand in their way. I stayed out of it. I didn't call you because they said they would.
They did.
Yeah, when they were already en route.
I'm not going to feel bad I didn't call you or stand in their way. Deep down, I think Tom did the right thing. I just feel sad for you, Mary. I don't want you to be sad.
I am and I'm not. I'm really glad he's with Tom. It's just complicated. Growing old is awful. I imagine my father's feeling awful.
I don't think so. I think growing old can be fine, even wonderful. It's dying that's sad. Dying and knowing that you're never coming back to this lifetime. Saying goodbye to everyone and everything you love.
My father's dying and...
Mary?
We're all dying, Mary. I think your dad's just trying to make the most of every minute. Think of it, guys. He escaped from his nursing home. I think that's amazing. I think that's wonderful. Can you imagine the worry and shock look on the nurses' faces when they realized he was gone?
Yes, we received a phone call.
He really hates that place.
Who wouldn't?
How can you two laugh?
This really isn't funny.
No, but I feel better laughing with you than worrying about something we had no control over.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry, cheer him on, or scold him.
I'd say a little of each is appropriate.
I'll bet the Yankees lose today. He's probably going to hex them right through the whole game.
Probably.
Jesus.
He's not going to die without seeing and doing it all.
I wouldn't have him any other way.
Come on, Mary, we've got to get back home.
Oh, you don't have to leave.
No, John's right. Susan Jameson is with the children. We should get back. Thanks, Jenna, for making me laugh.
It was good to see you laugh.
Hey, I needed to laugh too. My door's open anytime. You know that, don't you, Mary?
We promised years ago.
Well, I'll be baking flag cookies all day for the Memorial Day parade on Monday. Please come back anytime and keep me company.
I might do that, Jenna.
Maybe we can think of some alternatives for your dad so he won't have to go back to Whispering Pines.
Jenna, he's going back. There's no discussion.
John, there is always discussion. There are always choices.
Not always. Not when life throws you a loop.
Jenna's right. There are always choices.
Especially when life throws you a loop. Look, guys, I'm here and I'll be here all day.
The Fenway Park bleacher seats.
Why don't they serve the popcorn in those red megaphones with Red Sox written on it? My Mary and I loved rooting for the team with those paper loudspeakers.
I know what you're talking about, but they don't make them anymore. Besides, I still have one of them. You can see it when we get home.
Look how green that grass is. We made it. It's just beautiful here. And the dirt looks like clay flown in from Georgia. Red clay. Look how beautifully they've raked it. Oh, thank you, Tom. Oh, God, the air smells good, doesn't it? Doesn't the air smell good?
It does smell good.
It's the best medicine I could have. To be here now with you. Oh, Tom, I feel good.
I can see that.
I can't believe we're really here. It's like a dream for me. Look at this crowd. Everybody's different, but we're all here for the game, for America's pastime. Being at Fenway is like being at church. We're all here for the same reason.
Never thought of it like that, but you're right. Baseball is a spiritual commitment. It's in your brain all year round.
Yep. And it doesn't matter if you play it, watch it, listen to it on the radio. Fans love the game. They love the ball and bat. I like things in this world that don't change.
Life can't stand still, George. Change can be good.
Hey, come on. 1, 2, 3. Pitch him straight over the plate. Come on.
There
1,
you
2,
go. 2 out. Keep them swinging.
3. And whatever happened to paper cups? Yeah. And whatever happened to paper cups with ice and Coke? I love that syrupy taste. I don't understand change. I mean, I accept that things change. But why does Fenway have to change?
Maybe the guy who made those megaphone popcorn things died.
Don't mind me. I'm talking about tradition. It's bigger than megaphone, popcorn, and paper cup Coke. It's about legacy. The legacy that Fenway will always be Fenway, that the Citgo sign will always shine, that the brown bag peanuts will always have one bad tasting peanut in it.
Things change, George. That's the way life is.
You're not telling me anything new. I know that life changes, but I don't have to like all the changes. I'm just saying that, hey, that's it. 3 strikes. And Red Sox bottom of the 3rd. Come on, Red Sox. Hit them out here. We'll catch them.
Hey, calm down, George.
I am calm. I'm just saying I don't like change. I want things to stay the same. And since I'm not dead yet, I'd like things to hold off just until I'm gone. And everybody who likes change can have a heyday.
Well, some things haven't changed.
Well, my feeling for baseball hasn't changed, and it never will.
Mine too.
And my love for Mary and my grandchildren couldn't be stronger. I'll bring them home and say, slide all the way.
Yes. That run was nice. You see, those are the constants, George. Don't try to fret about the little things. The things that you love are still the same. It's all in your attitude.
But it's not like that for everyone. I hear people crying in that home they've got me in. Pete Traynor never feels good. His arthritis makes every joint in his body feel like hell. And Gladys Montgomery used to be a real looker and the finest pie maker, but now, nothing. No pies, prune-looking skin. It's just wear those diapers because she leaks. It's sad and shameful when people can't grow old with dignity and take care of themselves. I'll tell you truthfully, they'd all rather die right now and go to heaven.
Oh, I don't believe that, George. Besides, God has a plan for all of us. He'll take them when he's ready. When it's their time. Oh, that's
bring
it.
Home. Bring them home, baby. It's gonna be a long flight back, Yankees. You're gonna be crying all the way to New York. I know that God has a plan for all of us, but I don't think that any God of mine in his right mind would wish me to be in a nursing home today when I could be right here in Fenway Park with you, my best friend's son, and no one, not even you, Tom, could convince me otherwise.
Okay, George. I won't try. I'm sorry, George, that so much is changing around you.
It's okay, Tom. I'm usually pretty easy about change. Just takes me a while. This game hasn't changed. Whatever happens in the world, the rules of baseball stay the same. Anyone can play it around the world. Kid can pick up a stick, hit a ball into a field or on a street. You don't even need a ball. You use a rock, a potato, even an onion.
I'm sorry, George, that so much is changing around you.
Mary's a great daughter. I don't like to worry her or make her feel responsible for me. But with 4 children, she's tired. I can see it. And John has a short temper. Lately, he's angry all the time, and I just make it worse. That's why I came to you, or else I would have gone to Mary. She would have brought me here today. I know she would have, but I didn't want to bother her.
You know Mary's always been like a sister to me.
And that counts for something today. Nobody's loyal anymore. People are duplicitous.
Duplicitous. George, where
Hey, don't think I don't know what that fancy word means. I know what it means to respect a person, to look them in the eye when they're talking and listen to them and what they're saying. I know what it means to build trust, to earn it.
Okay, I know that.
But you don't know how I feel sitting in that nursing home alone. Everyone says I'm not alone. I've got Mary and the children, but I am alone. My wife and friends, my real friends, are all dead. You just don't make lifelong friendships in a second. It takes a lifetime. Yes, I talk to people, make nice conversation, but a person knows when someone cares about them. And I'm not stupid.
No, you're not, George. We'll figure something out. You won't go back to Whispering Pines. I promise you. I'll help you, George.
Jenna is decorating her American flag cookies on the porch.
There you go, Red Stripe. Stay straight. That's it. Very nice, if I do say so myself. Now I just have 59 more to go.
I'm back.
Barry, good. I'm glad you're back. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Look at all the cookies. How did you do it? When did you bake them?
Today, after you guys left. Remember, Mary, I don't have 4 children. I have plenty of time to do all this.
Time is a luxury, with or without children.
I hear that. Oh, it's been a long 24 hours for you. Can I get you a cup of tea?
No. Let's just sit. I'll watch you decorate your cookies.
I got a frosting knife of every color. I can put you to work if you want to. Would you like to help me?
I'll make the blue stripes.
And I'll take any and all help I can get. We have 59 to go.
They got there safely. Tom called again.
He doesn't want you to worry. They called here too.
I'm not worried about today anymore. I'm worried about tomorrow. I don't even know what we're gonna do.
Things have a way of working out.
I feel so guilty.
I don't think you should.
You don't know everything, Jenna.
I only know what people tell me. No one knows everything. Fill me in on what I don't know.
God, I love this porch. It's always felt like home here. Not more than my own home, but you know what I mean.
I know, because I've always felt the same way, even before it became my home.
Remember the day Tom got Carl Yastrzemski's autograph?
Oh, I'll never forget it. Tom and his dad always spoke of that moment as one of their happiest days together.
They never had a bad one.
Of course they did. They were human. Everyone has good and bad days, Mary.
I know that, but you know what I mean, don't you? This town, the people, the children, no one really worries about major concerns. We have little town frets, little town dramas. We have insignificant events.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. Nothing has changed since we were children. We go to the same church, we have the same schools, we celebrate the same holidays. Except for the addition of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, everything is the same. Your hair might not be as long, and I may start to have some wrinkles on my face, but we look the same as yesterday.
Now I like that.
I'm serious, Jenna. I think there should be more.
What more? Mary, I like my life. I love teaching kindergarten. I've always loved this town just the way it is. Some days I think the world moves too fast, and I'm glad to be here where life is dependable.
I don't think life's dependable. I don't think that what you think is real.
What's not real? Aren't we? Aren't your children and your husband real?
Yes, that is real, but I'm talking about the bigger picture. I wonder what life might be like somewhere else.
I don't wonder that. I have my work and life here. I am grateful every day I love the man I'm married to. We didn't get lucky with children, but I don't have to have born children to nurture and mother. We're content, we're happy.
No, I didn't mean it
You know,
like
Mary,
that.
I really dislike it when people point their finger and tell others that their reality is not real. This is our hometown, Mary. We've lived here all our life. Tom and I chose to come home and marry after he graduated from law school. Your John wasn't from here, but you also chose to return home. It wasn't a bad choice.
It was safe.
Yes, and beautiful and filled with good people, good morals, good values, good deeds, and a simple life.
We have spaghetti every Wednesday. It's the same recipe that I ate as a child, which means I have been eating without thinking on Wednesdays for 42 years. You went into the Peace Corps. You went to Africa. You and Tom go on exciting vacations. I majored in art history at Smith, interned at the Metropolitan Museum of Art for my January break senior year. I graduated, married John, came home to paint, but the only major works that I've produced so far are John Jr., Sarah, and the twins. We spend 2 weeks every summer in Truro fighting the thin line, bumper to bumper, Cape Cod traffic, and even on vacation, we have spaghetti on Wednesday.
Mary, let's leave the cookies. Let's go make some tea.
You don't understand.
No, I don't. But I want to. I want to understand where all of this is coming from. You have 4 beautiful children. John's a great optometrist. You're an excellent mother, an excellent daughter.
Haven't you ever felt boxed in? Trapped?
No. There are always choices. We always have choices. You know that, Mary. We're family. Tom and I would help you with anything. You know that.
I love that my father has such a fiery spirit. He's fun and full of life and unpredictable in the best ways. I love my children. I love my husband. I love my father, but I can't take care of them all. I need to take care of myself.
We all need to take care of ourselves, Mary. Talk straight with me. What's the matter? Don't cry. No, your father will be fine.
It's just not my father's situation. It's me.
You're talented. You've always been. I promise you I will help you find the time to paint.
I don't know what type of time will be available. I have cancer.
What?
Lights go to black. Later that day, Jenna and Mary re-enter with red geraniums and Dusty Miller to plant.
I'm laughing, and I'm having a great time.
Good. So am I.
And I don't feel guilty about my father or my children or John. For that matter, I've had several hours without a care in the world, and I feel rejuvenated.
Well, the wine at lunch didn't hurt.
No, it didn't. In fact, after we plant these flowers, I really think we should indulge again.
Work first, play later.
But Jenna, do you think people are like us in Boston, in Lexington, in Chicago, and Seattle? I mean, are 2 women somewhere else right now talking like us, worried about life, about living, filling their days with flowers and cookies?
Mary, I don't know. It's that old cliche, the world's a small place. People are people. They get dealt cards and they play them. You play what you get. You've been dealt a bad hand, but you don't know it's going to end the way you think or even the bad way you're thinking. You have to have faith. If you don't, you'll only have despair.
I feel like I'm in a tunnel, unable to reach my children, John, my dad. I can't get to them. I can't help them, and I can't help myself, and John, he feels so sad that he's too overprotective of me and sick to his stomach all the time, and everything's just a mess.
You and John do not have to feel alone. Tom and I are going to help you. We're going to help each of you, but especially you, Mary. I promise you, we're going to help you.
I didn't want anyone to know until John and I knew more. But we'll know everything on Tuesday. I just have to keep telling myself that Tuesday is the day that we'll know just what I'm facing.
That's right, Mary. Meanwhile, we're just waiting for your dad to come home from Fenway. Remember when we waited for Tom and his dad to come home from his 10th birthday?
With Yaz's autograph.
That's it, Mary. We're waiting for your dad, for Tom, for John and the children, for cookies, for Memorial Day parade on Monday. We're waiting, not worried about what we have no control over. We're just having a good time together, just being together, just the way two women in any part of the world would be together.
Okay. I can work with that. You know, I'd give anything to be any other woman in the world right now without cancer inside my body. God, Jenna, damn it. I'm so scared. I don't want to die.
I'm here, Mary. I'm here. Where did all this come from? Tom and I are going to help you. You are not alone. We are going to help you. Please don't be afraid.
Later that afternoon, John and Mary are on the porch.
We agreed to keep it a secret.
I know, but it's better this way.
Better for who?
I don't want to keep it a secret anymore. I want one less bit of stress in my life. Tom and Jenna are family.
I just don't want our privacy hampered.
We were wrong, John. To rent my father's house and to put him in Whispering Pines after the third heart attack, we were wrong not to listen to him. We took away his rose garden. We took away his life to afford a nursing home that makes him feel like a prisoner in his own town. He didn't want to stay at Whispering Pines, and now look what's happened. He's escaped, and not to our home. I feel horrible that he came here instead of making his way to me. We took away the things he loved. What were we thinking?
We didn't sell his house. We rented it.
It's not the point. We made decisions for him that we believed were in his best interest, and they were in our best interest, not his. We thought he would die there, but he's alive, and he's not dying. I'm the one dying.
Mary, please don't talk about dying.
Why not? It's a possibility we're all going to die one day, only I may be going sooner than expected.
Look, let's go home. I came to get you. Let's go.
No. My father's coming back here. I told Tom I'd be here when they got back. You know, we should really talk about that addition. We should call the architects.
Wait, what are you suggesting?
I'm bringing him home to our house.
We don't have the room.
We'll make the room. John, he's my father.
The children are already doubled up.
They can triple up. I'm bringing my father home, and that's that.
That evening, John, Mary, George, Jenna, and Tom are on the porch. They've just finished eating strawberry shortcake.
I will never understand a Red Sox fan. They stand behind their team no matter what, even when they look as foolish as their team.
Well, they didn't look foolish today.
No, they didn't. Don't worry, John. We forgive you that you grew up in New York, and we'll never hold that against you. We'll just hold it against Mary for falling in love with a traitor.
Stop it! You've got to admit the Yankees are a fabulous club.
And they've got exceptional talent. Face it, they're nice guys and you all know it.
You'll never understand the heart of a Red Sox fan.
I think I'll offer more shortcake now. It's still warm.
No thanks, Jenna.
That was the best old-fashioned strawberry shortcake I've had in a long time. Those were the sweetest strawberries.
Guess we made a good buy this morning, huh, George?
I saw those strawberries from the exit ramp on the highway. And I knew they were good. Sometimes you get rotten fruit at Fenway Hall Marketplace, but not today. Today, the fruit was as sweet as my Mary.
Dad,
We should call it a night. It's been quite a day.
Quite a 24 hours.
I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight.
Everyone rises. Tom and Mary begin to talk. John and Jenna begin to talk. The Conversations are held quietly between each pair. George has closed his eyes. John and Jenna take a tray of dishes inside.
I don't know, Tom. I don't know what to say.
Say yes, Mary. You and I promised a long time ago to be family, to take care of each other. This situation is no different. You would do the same for us. Jenna and I can do this for you.
It would change everything.
It could work, Mary. You're 2 blocks over, that's all.
It could solve a lot. I'm so tired, Tom. You talk with him and see what he thinks.
I will.
Would you start tonight?
Yes.
Whew, everything is all in. John is a wonderful helper.
All set?
You and Mary go on ahead. I'll make sure George gets home.
No, I'll go now. I'm beat.
No, wait. I need to talk with you, George, okay?
Love you, Dad.
Everything's gonna be fine. You're gonna beat this thing and you're gonna paint. You won't worry about my situation, okay?
Well, I will leave the two of you to the stars, but just remember, Mr. Porter, everything Tom says to you goes ditto from me.
You're a great girl.
I'm glad we see eye to eye.
I'm exhausted, Tom. The Red Sox beat the Yankees today, and I'm going to get the chance to help my Mary. All in all, it's been a great one. An old-fashioned doubleheader.
I was glad to help you all day, George. I was really glad that I could be here for you. My parents thought the world of you, and so do I. George, I want you to stay.
I'm here, Tom.
I want you to stay here and live for the rest of your days.
I could never do that. Mary's going to build an addition to her house. Everything's been worked out.
I talked with Mary. Jenna and I are here. The house is huge. We can make sure your needs are met, and we have room.
I couldn't do that to Mary. She worked so hard to try and figure everything out. It wouldn't be right not to go to her house.
It wouldn't be wrong to stay here.
Mary wants me in her home.
Because she doesn't want you back in the nursing home. She wants you to be happy, George. She wants you to feel free. She wants to take care of you. But I can help her with the situation ready to go. I can make a difference for the two of you and help you both.
What did Mary say? I'll have to talk with her again.
At first, she didn't want to hear any of it, but then she listened and she understood that Jenna and I can do this for you. We want to do this for both of you. You don't need to be locked up in a place that you don't want to be in. You don't need to feel like a burden to Mary. Say yes.
I can't. I don't want to die in your home.
Why not? Besides, who knows where any of us are going to die? The point is, you don't have to go back to Whispering Pines. You don't have to live on a pull-out couch until an addition is made. You can have the bedroom on the first floor. It's perfect, George. It's the answer to your prayers.
I never dreamed.
I can do this for you, George. Mary and I are like brother and sister. We can help you. I love you, George. Let me help take care of you.
Growing old is not as graceful as I thought it would be.
Growing old is a fact of life, and graceful or not, it is what it is.
I won't be difficult.
You be yourself, and we'll be fine.
I don't know when I'll die.
None of us do.
Barbara's words and characters always ring so true, and you're going to find that to be the case also in our next play, Dance Mama Dance, but let's take a 20-minute intermission first, okay?